Quiet Place Part 2 comes out in theaters May 2021. Is this movie any good? 90% critic approval on RottenTomatoes.com. Let me tell you why I don't quite agree with that coming up next. Quiet Place Part 2 comes right after the original Quiet Place, which, if you haven't seen it, this video will spoil everything for you because Quiet Place Part 2, you really need to see the first one in order to understand and grasp the second one. So a lot of spoilers are going to be in this. Spoilers about Quiet Place Part 1. Quiet Place Part 2 picks up at where the first one ended, where the family at the farm has, the same general problem. The aliens have invaded. They can hear anything, and if they hear you, they will come and eat you or kill you. At the end of Quiet Place Part 1, the father died, played by John Krasinski, so what are they going to do? You have a single mother with her 3 children, including a baby. The baby that is under threat could make a noise at any time, and the oldest daughter can't hear and has a hearing aid or device to help her out. Obviously, this device also helps defeat the monsters. And so what are these people going to do with their lives? Basically, Quiet Place Part 2 is like the Fallout video game series. It takes place, I didn't know this when Quiet Place Part 1, but in Connecticut. And it reminded me quite a bit of Fallout 4, which takes place in and around Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts. And one of the goals here for the family is to go to the sea, to an island, and you'll see what happens when they try to do that. Here, you've got basically the repeat of what happened in Quiet Place Part 1. There are more babies and children in peril here. There are more feet being mangled by metal. In fact, that must happen 3 or 4 times in this movie. There are long sequences in which if you make a noise, and they do quite often in this movie, here come the monsters, then you gotta be quiet, sneak around, figure out how to defeat them. That must be at least half the movie here. The movie opens with a flashback on the day of the alien invasion. In fact, it says day 1. That gets John Krasinski himself in the picture because he hasn't died yet. And I thought this movie was going to intercut flashbacks to the past, to what happened, how the alien invasion happened throughout the movie. It turns out it didn't, and that flashback at the beginning is kind of a head fake. Also, a long, sort of wasted, I think, span, which introduces just one character important to later in the movie, but really that flashback sequence, as it turned out, didn't need to be there. And it's a sign of what this movie is about. It's about thrilling you, it's about scaring you, putting children in scary or perilous sequences. It's not going to be unlike Alien or Aliens in particular. If you remember Aliens, the kid in the lab where the alien gets out and they've got to scurry around, or Jurassic Park where the velociraptors are in the lab and the kids are being hunted by velociraptors. There's a lot of that, and one of the ideas of the movie, in fact, I think the only new idea in this movie is that the kids themselves have to learn to confront and slay the monsters. I'm all for the metaphorical value of that, whatever meanings you might want to assign it. But there's nothing more than that. There is just the world as it was in Quiet Place Part 1, same as in Quiet Place Part 2. There's a lot of Emily Blunt looking tough and having to deal with the monsters as she makes noises or as the kids make noises. And there's a lot of very silly character decisions in this movie, I think. Maybe people are irrational in general and you can make sense of all of their choices, but a lot of things happen in this movie that just sort of allow the movie to be a scary thrill ride, which is exactly what it is. For that reason, I recommend seeing it if you want something just purely entertaining, sort of like that Jurassic Park velociraptors, chasing after kids throughout an entire movie. That's what you're getting here. I would avoid paying for this movie. I would watch it on a plane. I would see it at home on a streaming service that you're already paid for, because it's not actually that great in terms of ideas and themes, and it has 0 character development. None whatsoever. And so really it's just an homage to the original movie. Nothing wrong with that, but for that reason, my judgment is I give it 2.5 stars, an average movie. It's good for some things, for casual, scary entertainment, but not really, it's not really complex at all. And as I said, it's like the Fallout video game series, which I would much rather play, actually, than watch this movie. So for all those reasons, 2.5 stars, this is an average movie to me. What do you think about Quiet Place 2? Let us know in the comments. And did you enjoy it? Did you think it was better than the original? Do you agree with 90% of critics? Or do you think, well, this isn't that great? Let us know in the comments. I'd really like to hear from you.